Hi, my name is Leta Palmiter. I'm a dyslexia therapist, and I've been teaching kids to read for almost 25 years. And I want to start with the story of two people, my husband and my daughter, both of whom have dyslexia, but my husband grew up in a time when it wasn't diagnosed, and so he has struggled with reading and writing for his entire life. Now, he's successful. He builds airplane engines for the Navy, but it has limited his life choices. My daughter, on the other hand, had a mother who is dedicated to preventing every harm of dyslexia and now is a freshman with a full scholarship at Mississippi University for Women. So we are Vertical Takeoff, and we want every child to have that chance at life. So you may know somebody like my family, because 130 million adults read below the 6th grade level, and there are 30 million students in our schools today struggling with reading, and most of those have dyslexia. In addition, there are 4 million students that struggle with speech and pronunciation, and we are building a platform for practice because we know that our teachers and therapists are necessary for these kids, but they cannot read with every kid every day. And our parents, even though they love their children, often don't know how to help. And what our children need is practice, perfect practice. So we've built a team with experts and great teammates to build the product, including Ben, who's here with me today, and the rest of our technical team, to build out a platform that listens to students practice reading. And it's precise. It's not predictive. So if you talk to your phone and you say something wrong, it predicts what you meant to say and fills in the blank. We had to actually break that in our AI to actually measure what the students say so that our teachers and therapists know where the problems are, listening and analyzing to every sound. That generated hyper-labeled audio data that we know can make our speech recognition better. That is where our patent comes in. We're patent pending for this phonics instruction using phoneme-grapheme correspondence and the copyright and the source code. And this hyper-labeled audio data really has a potential to be impactful in the marketplace today. So what does it look like? Well, I want to teach my students but I have z, and I have a choice. If I want to spell z with an S, I'll get his and has. If I want to spell z with a Z, I'll get zip, zap, and fizz. But notice that those words only contain the sound symbol correspondences that have been selected. The kids don't know this. They just see the words on the page, and they read them, and they say, yep, I'm done, and I know that word. Or I don't know that word. And so that's the green and the yellow. They say, afraid. I know that word. And what does that sound like if I know that word?
Afraid.
Sounds like he knows the word afraid. But if he says, I don't know, I need work on that. What does that sound like? The computer says it's 11% accuracy overall. What does that sound like?
Clams.
Sounds like I don't know the word claims, doesn't it? And it's at that vowel level, and you can see that in the data that comes back. Goes all the way to phrases at the moment. So collect the funds. Looks like 43% accuracy. What does that sound like?
Correct the funding.
My sweet baby is so country. So this individualized practice is what students need when they're learning to read. And the beautiful thing is that it works with anybody that's at that stage, whether you're a 1st grader or a 5th grader or an adult, because we adapt to that level of reading practice. Every learner gets the right thing every day. And so these are our parents' feedback, where they're really giving us, this is what our kids are saying, this is what our parents are saying. It's been inspirational. We're in 170 homes right now where students are really practicing their reading. And we know that we have the ability to make a difference in the lives of thousands more. This is different than what's on the market. We are measuring reading every day, practice. We're not trying to teach every kid to read. There are lots of platforms to teach children how to read. But we know that technology doesn't teach these children. Technology supports teachers. We can't replace the teachers, especially for children who are struggling to read. They need a human. So we build the words, we listen to them, we measure it, and the platform is built for practice. That makes us different than what we have on the market. The launch right now, we're working with people like me, dyslexia therapists and literacy leaders, and we're presenting at key conferences. And our plan right today is to grow this, to expand, and to activate our referrals and to collect some user case data, and then to scale regionally, nationally, and partner with those who do the work of teaching and position ourselves for data licensing and our SDK adoption. This means we have 4 active revenue streams, literacy being our primary one, starting already, and then speech with our build out, this pitch competition allowing us to measure accuracy at the sound level for students in speech therapy, then building out our EdTech licensure in software, and then data licensing. That looks like we have 4 different markets that we can tap into. The one that I'm in now with US literacy, giving the progress monitoring to improve schools, and then speech, and then onward. So we know that we have partners in the market now that teach. We know that there are markets who need this to improve their speech recognition. And we've gotten $52,000 in non-dilutive funding to help us build out this platform already. And then we ended up in CoBuilders with wonderful support, $25,000 investment, so that we can continue this work, $125,000 in competitive grant that allows us to give this to as many schools as possible right now, so that we can go from 170 users to 5,000 users in 2027. We're asking to help us grow this as we look to the future, knowing that reading goes to speech, speech goes to data licensing, and we'll break even in just 18 months as we build out this unique tool for learners. Expanding across the literacy, speech, and software, getting to a market of 4.2 million by 2028, breaking even in 2027 as all lines of revenue open up. Our fundraising ask is $400,000, and that's an 18-month runway to get us through our finalization of our speech product, to grow our user base, and to launch our data licensing. Our goal is really to reach that break-even point, as well as build out some infrastructure for holding all this data for our students, and to get our sales and marketing team up to speed. Because it's one thing to know the people, it's another thing to close the deal. And we've really been working hard on the product development side as well. We know that perfect practice is what makes real progress. And real progress means time saves for teachers. And that will help our children really take off. And I am still talking too fast. That's what happens. All right, so we'll take questions early. Yes.
A gamification component, like as they progress.
So the speech piece that we're asking for the funding for will have a gamification component because it is an app for students, whereas the reading component is meant to be 5 minutes. It's doable. Children do it and they get done with it. It's just read and be done. They are self-checking. One of the things about the products that are on the market today is that there's too much oral feedback. Good job, or dancing monster, and the kids are bored. They just want to do their work and get it done. It's homework, y'all. Nobody loves homework. So they just read their words and they're done. 5 minutes and they're done. There's no game. But when we're talking about the speech, because our children's age is lower, there's a gamification component to that. Yeah.
So it already feels like it has a solid foundation, so I think the gamification has several.
Thank you. Yes. Well, in Pilot 1, we found that was a problem, right? They had to believe that homework had a place in their day-to-day routine. So you're right, there is a disruption, because every time you break a habit, there's a lot of work to be had. But here's the thing. They already are calling for this. So the customer investigations were, I want to know what my kids can do and can't do without me having to invest a whole bunch of time. So it's that trade-off. How much time will it take me to use the software versus how much time is it saving me? And that really has been the way to disrupt the market. They'll develop a new habit. It really costs them about 30 minutes twice a week, and rather than 10 minutes per kid per day. So they get a lot more data to drive instruction when they just check it twice a week. Yes? Yes, so our post-money evaluation, or pre-money evaluation is 2.5 million. And so we know that this is about 16% equity.
Can you explain your data commercialization piece that's in the forecast?
Absolutely. So this is who buys it. And it's really the idea that not all of us speak the same. Not only do we have different dialects, as you heard in the sample, but those of us who are learning to speak and learning to read have a different cadence to speech. Most of our speech models are built on fluent speakers. And so this data that we're producing, 17 kids say the same word, and we have 17 different samples of that, will help build out better speech recognition models for companies that are looking for that data. It's a really highly valued data model set.
So can you use this to teach English?
Absolutely.
Is that in your forecast?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir? How does it fail? It fails if students don't use it. That's truly, if you give a student homework and they don't do the homework, that is every teacher's nightmare, right? So if they don't use the product, you don't get the data. So there is a fail point there, but this is the same with every homework that's ever been given by anybody ever, right? So there are ways around that nightmare, and most teachers know them, most speech therapists know them. It fails if nobody uses it, but you have to believe in the power of educators.
So if they don't use it, then how do you make it?
Mostly I use bribery as an educator. Yes. Yes, gamification, absolutely, especially within the app. And for adult learners, which is a market that we serve, but it's a smaller market, the adult literacy market, the gamification keeps us going back. It works with Duolingo, it works with us, right? So yes, that is one of the markets one of the ways that we keep them going. Children, though, if it's homework, it mostly is bribery, truly, and always. And that's one of my students. Somebody said, "Is that Harry Potter?" I said, "No, that's Mason." He said, "I'm famous now." And I said, "Wait until you know I showed it to hundreds of people." So, thank you so very much.